It's 6 p.m. and you just got home from work. You're exhausted. Maybe you go to the gym, good for you. Otherwise, you start grinding South Park. It gets late and you get in bed and start scrolling Instagram. IG models are slipping in and out of your screen, causing your arousal to grow until you hit a point where you say screw it and off to the hub you go. Or maybe you're ready for work, you get in the car and at the first stoplight you compulsively pull out your phone. Some TikTok dancer catches your eye and right then and there as the light turns green you give in to your animalistic urges. Or maybe you're already dreaming about it before you even wake up and right as your eyes open your hand shoots for your phone. That's a little dramatic, but according to one study, 91.5% of men used pornography in the last month. Who cares? It's not that bad, right? You just gotta, be smart about it, right? Wrong. Full disclosure, I have actually used pornography on and off since I was 14 years old. I saw it for the first time at a sleepover. Even into my married life, I've struggled with it. I'm making this video with my wife's permission. If she wasn't down, trust me, I would not be here. At this point, I have fully conquered the dragon, as they say. And in this video, towards the end, I'm gonna share with you every single thing that I finally did that helped me quit and stay quit. As part of this video too, I had hoped to interview some people and get their experiences about pornography, but every single one of them declined. Which just speaks to the fact that it's truly a topic that is so shameful and for many very difficult to talk about. But as Brene Brown says, shame cannot survive being spoken. It cannot tolerate having words wrapped around it. What it craves is secrecy, silence, and judgment. A porn addiction thrives in secrecy, silence, and judgment. So let's pull it out onto the table, examine it in all its disgusting glory. And in doing so, we'll figure out how to beat it. So let's talk about that devil you got in you, porn. It's nothing new to humanity. Statues have been discovered as far back as 35,000 years ago that were erotic pieces of art. Fast forward to the late 90s, where if you wanted to rent a porno, you had to go behind the shameful red curtain at your local Blockbuster, and everyone that saw you go in thought you were a freak. Skip ahead yet another 10 years, and the landscape for porn has completely changed. In our hands, we possess the power to view any type of pornography we could possibly imagine. And the scary thing is, most kids are exposed to pornography for the first time at the age of 13. I hadn't even held hands with a girl by the time I was 13. Maybe I was behind the curve, but I'm pretty sure a lot of kids should not be seeing extreme explicit sexual content before they've even held a girl's hand. It's absolutely crazy. Now, porn is a multifaceted issue. It includes all sorts of moral dilemmas like exploitation of the performers, links to human trafficking, perpetuating sexual behaviors that are viewed as harmful in society, and of course, all the terrible effects it has on the human body, the mind, and the spirit. And that is what we're going to be focusing on today. As a man myself, on a quest to become the man, I have partaken of the poison that is pornography. So what happens when you watch porn? The science goes pretty deep, but essentially what happens is the visual stimulation caused by porn hijacks your brain's reward systems. It floods it with unnaturally high levels of dopamine. Your brain literally changes the structure, the size, the chemistry of it, and causes it to become more and more addicted to the artificial dopamine dump you get from porn, making everything in this world less sweet. The people around you, the experiences you're having, the things that you used to do just have less satisfaction. It's like this. Compare your average life to eating a bowl of oatmeal every day for breakfast. It can be boring, it can be mundane sometimes, but it sustains you. And hey, if you want to get crazy with it, you can spice that bowl of oatmeal up. You can add some brown sugar, you can add some berries, or if you're feeling really crazy, you can add a fat spoon of Nutella. Now, imagine you start going to McDonald's instead. You drive by those nice golden arches every day. You got a little curious. You just had to try it for yourself. McGriddles, biscuits and sausage, Coke at 7 a.m. Suddenly your bowl of oatmeal seems bland. Porn is the McDonald's of the internet. It's indulgent, it's packed with unnatural ingredients, it's tailored to entice, and just like McDonald's, it's full of disgusting bodily fluids. Porn stars have lighting, camera angles, a whole professional editing film crew to make everything look perfect. Whoever's viewing it has an abnormally high sexual experience because all of that combined creates something that's completely unrealistic. Dopamine floods the brain like a waterfall, and suddenly the real women, the real people in your life lose their spice. The sweet bowls of oatmeal that just wanted to be with you, just be your friend, are getting thrust aside for sausage McMuffins, and the results are vile. Now your brain is extremely smart, and when it finds something as stimulating as porn, it will take note and it will remember. It will urge you to return to the same stimulus that once got you that level of dopamine. And becoming used to that high level of pleasure, other stimulus in your life that were natural pleasures, such as sex, exercise, and all the other great things life can offer, will begin to diminish. And over time, you will be robbed of your motivation and desire to achieve. Porn addiction leads to anxiety, depression, erectile dysfunction, and it teaches you to get off watching other men have sex, you disgusting freak. Now I can say that because I was also a disgusting freak. And speaking of disgusting freaks, it has also been proven that high porn consumption is correlated with a desensitivity to regular porn, which means that users tend to level up to more extreme forms of porn. I'm not saying you're going to become Ted Bundy, but you certainly will not become the next David Goggins. The research is terrifying and it's all there, man. I'm going to put it in the description below. Tons of links to studies that will prove everything that I'm saying is true. Depression, anxiety, erectile dysfunction, being a disgusting freak, it's all there. As a young teenager, as I mentioned previously, I found porn for the first time at a sleepover. I was instantly hooked and I dove right into the deep end. At the time, roughly back in 2012, internet porn was becoming very available, and so I would download it in abundance right onto my iPod Touch. I got busted a few times by my parents, which is pretty awkward. We don't have to get into that, but they took my devices from me. My addiction was strong enough that I had the will, I had the desire, and so I found the way. I ended up buying another iPod Touch from a kid at school. This one I kept hidden. My parents had no clue I had it. They were smart though. They didn't trust me with the Wi-Fi password because of my past exploits, we'll say. And so I had to go to a friend's house who let me use his Wi-Fi, and I would sit in his driveway and download porn for hours. That would be my whole fill for the week, and then next week I'd come back and do the same thing. And all of this was going on while I was trying to get good grades, wrestle, and just be a good Christian boy in general. The addiction continued to grow, and at one point I completely flunked out of college because literally all I would do is either sleep, play League of Legends, which I've since quit, or watch porn. During that time, I ballooned up in weight, I had zero interaction with any women, and I went bankrupt. That was by far the worst point in my addiction. So I know the struggle. I know the feeling right after you just web everywhere and you just feel like garbage. And I always thought, man, if I can just get married, this will just go away because I won't need it anymore, right? Once you're married, you can get everything you're trying to get from porn in your marriage. But that was completely wrong, completely false. And my awesome wife, kudos, mad respects to her, praise to her. She put up with me, the porn addicted rat that I was, for years. Now, luckily, my porn addiction, I call it an addiction because I haven't ever been able to completely shake it. For me, I wasn't one of those guys that was whacking it 30 times a day. But, you know, once every few weeks, maybe once a month, just enough that it was still an issue in my life that I knew I wanted to get rid of. And for wives, it can be tough because, as my wife has expressed to me in conversations, she felt betrayed, she felt hurt, she felt like she wasn't enough. And these conversations, they're heavy. She told me how much I'd hurt her, and she deserved a man that was in with her 100%, just like she had always been in 100% herself. And you deserve that too. Maybe you're married, maybe you're dating, maybe you're flying solo right now, but your future family and your future self deserve a you right now that is 100% clean and free of porn. It's vital for your success, your well-being, and your overall greatness. I knew in my heart that my wife, my current son, my future kids, they deserved a man that wasn't ogling other women, pale and flabby, depressed and anxious, and overall just mediocre. So I had to quit, and so do you. There is no in between, there is no moderation. Porn is like meth. It's too dangerous to play with, and so we have to take an extreme approach. Don't let anyone tell you, even for a second, that porn is a normal part of growing up, because it's absolutely not. It's anything but normal. And because of how enticing it is, because of how addictive, how alluring, it will take sustained action and discipline to completely eradicate it from your life and make sure it stays gone. So how does one slay the dragon? The internet is full of resources on helping people quit porn, which is a great sign that there's a big push for that. And with your permission, I will add my 2 cents. I tried a slew of things leading up to me beating it, no pun intended, including reading a bunch of books, going to 12-step recovery programs, doing a bunch of home remedies like do 25 push-ups when you feel the urge. I pretty much tried everything short of just chopping it off, you know? But man, every single time I just kept relapsing. So here are the 4 things that actually made me quit. Number 1, the most important thing is have the mindset of never giving up. I know it sounds cliche, but a lot of times we tend to beat ourselves up if we relapse. Early on when I was trying to quit, if I did relapse, I would feel like crap for days. I'd be depressed, I'd be moping around, which sometimes would cause me to relapse again because I was feeling so down in the dumps. I heard an amazing quote once that helps me bounce back whenever I fall. It goes something like this: You don't drown from falling into a river, you drown from staying submerged. So if you relapse, if you crack, it's okay. Just get back on the horse and try again. Number 2, you have to identify patterns that lead to you cracking. For me, it was Instagram. I would scroll and man, there's just countless girls just putting it all out there, right? So I deleted it off my phone. Then I noticed from there that because I wasn't scrolling on Instagram as much, I started scrolling on Facebook more. And sure, there was less ladies on Facebook, but you'd still get these strange clickbait ads that were like 26 historic photos that will get you bothered and hot. And I'd click them sometimes. As ashamed as I am to say it, I would click them. So I realized, okay, I gotta stop scrolling on Facebook. That was the second step in my pattern. You keep doing this, you keep identifying patterns, and you'll notice that you can cut these things out that lead you down that path. The crazy part is I don't even miss scrolling on Facebook or Instagram because of step 3. Step 3 is replacing what we've now cut out, all the patterns that we identified in step 2. And this is where you can really take back your life and inject into it some things that you actually want to be doing and actually want to be progressing in. For example, I know I want to be jacked, I want to be well-read, and I want to be great at jiu-jitsu. So in the past, I found myself being tempted in the mornings. Well, now the morning is when I go to the gym. Boom, I'm getting more jacked. If I'm alone at night and I'm feeling like I want to get nasty, well, instead I'll whip out the Iliad. You freak, you thought I was gonna say something else. You're disgusting. And by reading the Iliad, I get very turned off while getting very smart. And number 4, the last one, so important, is you have to find a why. I know again, it sounds cliche, but for me, it was my wife, it was my kid, it was my future family. I didn't wanna have to have those heavy conversations with my wife anymore, telling her, hey babe, I know I've been acting weird, I'm sorry I looked at porn. Those conversations suck, and I didn't wanna do it anymore. And so now I think of her, I think of my kid, I think of my future kids having an amazing present father that's 100% committed. You need to find a why as well. Maybe your sweet old grandma thinks you're a perfect young man and you want to preserve that image she has of you. Maybe you're married or you have a girlfriend or you have siblings that look up to you. Whatever it is, find that reason. Find the thing that gives you the power in those moments of temptation to resist the urge. Now you do all 4 of those things and you will be able to quit and you'll be able to stay quit. If you try it and it's not working, be patient. Be consistent. And if you're finding that your addiction levels are even higher than this, seek more help. Maybe some other things will resonate with you like they didn't with me. Maybe the 12-step program will work for you. Do whatever it takes. Either way, we have to stop. Society needs real men more than ever. And you will never be your best self as long as you're choking the chicken while drooling over your phone screen at 3 a.m. Oftentimes, you may find that pornography addiction goes hand in hand with gaming addiction. This was certainly the case for me. My game that I was addicted to was League of Legends. I have since quit, and I will tell you how and why in this video right here. Go ahead and click it, and then come back and watch this one again just because it's so important. Godspeed, brethren.